Greetings from New York. Today, consciousness. This to a statement that consciousness is the great I am, Brahman, spoken of in the Vedas. This was something that was told to me on Facebook. Yeah. Well, I responded, not according to the Buddha, whose doctrine was that there is no ongoing self or soul, and that the belief in the little soul or the big one, God, was a delusion, a kind of mental illness. Yes, Dharma Shastra teaching says that what you said, but Buddha opposed it and said almost no one is free of the delusion it teaches. There is an attempt at a theory that the ground of existence is indeed conscious, and it is fascinating to listen to its proponents, but none claim it is a fully baked, grounded theory to my knowledge. I have found a path that was inspired in me by the study of many religions, but I believe completely in none of them, and see a terrible barb in each, which might be called the need to punish. They are all things easily laughed about, but the powerful mythological implications are still there in them, but often a bit twisted from reality, like the NDE experiences. You should listen to those. I have what some would call paranormal experiences, but I am rational enough not to say they were supernatural or proof of anything other than that we just don't understand enough and maybe never will about reality. Out of body experiences can be created in a lab by suppressing certain areas of the brain. So, not real, just an illusion. But yet, paranormal, knowing things that we don't know how could be known, have been attached to NDEs, which usually include an out of body experience. I had asked of my imaginary super friend to take that weird position of sometimes channeling a kind of supremely loving being that seemed to know things I had no earthly understanding of how I could have known away from me. Something I think the Buddha might have approved of. I was told, I assume now by my brain, in the most loving tone, to tell people of a practice I was then given and to study it because there was more to it. So I prefer to use an experience, a practice inspired by I don't know what and am too dumb to ascertain, which did indeed evolve into a powerful system that seems to treat what I call damaged faith and love, and gives me a similar feeling to the communion with amazing love that I had felt, and which others who practiced have experienced as well. Now, 50 years later, I still wonder about a lot of things, one of which is about how I got to be so much dumber than physicists, and how we human form of apes might survive long enough to, in some way, reach the stars or inhabit Mars. We are all a marvel, as is the reality of reality that we may never know. Consciousness seems to be a feedback loop in our experience of the brain, and awareness of an awareness of an awareness. And I wonder if this connects in some way to quantum mechanics, but alas, I have trouble grasping time and reality and relativity. I plod along with my dumb self and try to practice what it is I have discovered and offer it to the world. But it is like exercise. It is something that one likes to have done, but which is hard to make oneself do. Meanwhile, determinism and even chaos theory don't seem to give us a way to make free will believable. Yet we need to keep going and plan our lives, living in the illusions that seem to be necessary to better survival. But I still hear the music of a love just outside of my hearing, distant, but revealing a beauty that brings tears to my eyes, a touch of heaven I can have in a moment when I need it, a connection to what I call our inner artist, the watcher of our dramatic timeline experience, calling from a place where time stands still. What a great story. Please try to be a hero of love in that story. It would be so much richer for you. Do you hear that call? Listen. I think you do. And I still hear what my imaginary loving friend said to me when it gave me this inner mind communication practice. I asked, and I'll call it him, because probably it's my brain. Anyway, isn't this practice leaving you out? The reply, which still touches me deeply today, was no. You're just asking people to go around the corner where you know I am. That friend, real or imaginary, I still keep close in my heart. And now and then I speak in my mind. I love you, friend. Who am I now? I'm just a doddering, imperfect old man with a heart small but growing. Call me the preacher. Y'all have a really good day. And try to make yourself a bit of a hero of love in the story that you're writing today and tomorrow. Until next time.